paths, bluebird streams, getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Time for flashback.
Now, I'm not going to say all Aries don't know.
It's just the one you had. That was just
a long one, you know. But it's always something that you can
go ahead, Lisha. Can you recollect any signs that you might like?
October 15th or 16th. What?
It is what it is. Radio show.
All right, listen. All right, say situation. Cause I keep telling y'all, it's different situations in the child support thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing. You can't just say, "Oh, here did be. That's why you're on child support." Oh, he this. That's why you're on child support. Oh, she this. That's why she on child support. No, sometimes it could just go off of. Oh, I just called him and asked him, can he pay for the pictures? He ain't want to pay for the pictures. I'm taking his ass downtown. Yup.
Well, you got to know. Know who you dating.
Hold up.
You just like
I just called her. I just called her and asked could she just get Junior some shoes. She couldn't even get him no church shoes. I'm taking her ass downtown. Now, when you go downtown, you go down there, you get $500. Right? Now you mad because you getting $500, and now you really ain't getting no shoes for Junior.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm sorry. Welcome to Sunset Soul Radio Show. I am your host, Love Dawn. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's start over. Welcome to Sunset Soul Radio Show. I'm your host, Love Dawn. I have with me my co-host, the Bishop. I was going to call him Miss Lisha G. I'm not ready.
You miss her?
I'm not ready. I do. Mr. The Bishop is here with me.
Mr. The Bishop?
Mr. The Bishop is here with me. Lisha G, she'll be tuning in at some point in time. She had to work. Y'all know how that schedule is of hers. But she'll tune in and grace us with her presence at some point in time throughout the show. But those who are here, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting Sunset Soul as you all do every week. We have the most awesome viewers ever.
Yes.
I mean,
I agree with you.
They are so
committed.
They they talk to us. They add so much depth and information to the show. I mean, much more than what I could ever bring. Everybody know where I stand. I love to learn, and I love to learn from everybody. So I thank our awesome devoted viewers who do tune in and give us insight and their opinion on the different matters. Today, it's kind of a sluggish day for me, which is crazy because it felt so good outside today. It felt really,
that's
really
why
good.
you're sluggish. I mean, you wanted to enjoy this day.
Oh, don't forget, use that.
Yeah, that's why you sluggish. You wanted to enjoy this day. You know what I mean? The body just loved it.
Why can't I hear you?
I don't know. I can hear myself.
Can y'all hear me, everybody? Testing.
Wow, is that what you're gonna do right now?
Testing. Well, that's how you do it.
Live.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Bless God.
At the church. Yeah, it was just a really, really sight, and I felt myself getting sick. Let me tell y'all something about the power of a hot toddy. Y'all know what a hot toddy is?
I have no idea.
You don't know what a hot toddy? Come on.
Not
I
at
know
all.
you're the bishop, but you
Not
got to
at
know
all.
what a hot
I have
toddy
no
is.
idea what that is.
A hot toddy is a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Some people put lemon or honey in it, but for the most part, it's tea and some sort of brandy.
Oh no.
You're not putting brandy in it to get drunk.
No,
you're putting
I'm
brandy in it to break whatever fever or anything that you have. It makes you sweat. You take a hot toddy, get under the covers, or you drink a hot toddy, get under the covers, and work that thing out. You never had a hot toddy?
Never had one. No, we had real cough syrup and
it's not that people don't got cough syrup.
Cod liver oil and all that good stuff.
I'm taking that too. That's what I'm taking. I'm an advocate. Listen, everybody who know me know I've been on cruises. I go out of town. Every time I take my vitamins with me. I take my cayenne pepper, my cod liver oil, my fish oil, my vitamin C, B12, and B6. This is my daily regimen. Now I'm taking cranberry pills as well. And well, I took that and that hot toddy, and it helped me out last night. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, because I was getting kind of down. But I've been eating some ginger and putting ginger in it, just kind of eating just raw ginger. And my cousin gave me some crystallized ginger, and that's been working. But so it's helping me get this ailment about.
Pretty good.
But but because of that reason, I was a little sluggish and indecisive about coming in here today. And I was like, I should throw the bishop out there. I should just say, you know what? I think this should be your show tonight.
Really?
I'm serious.
I'm glad you didn't do that. I'm glad you didn't do that.
I should call him and be like, you know what, go for it. And I'll
Family
Skype in and you know, offer whatever insight I got to give, which would probably be nothing because of the hot toddy that I took prior to the show.
Slugging.
Also, I would have just typed in, you doing so good. Amen.
Hallelujah.
I see you in the morning.
I'm so glad you didn't do that.
But we are here, and there's so much to discuss. You know, we had intended on speaking on some issues that we post. Everybody knows when I usually post on Sunset Soul, myself, the Bishop, or Lisha, we'll post different things that we see throughout the week, and we'll title it Thoughts. Just to kind of give you an indication of this is something that we want to talk about, and we want to kind of get your thoughts on it and so forth. So there was a few things that was kind of highlighting, or should I not say, well, just kind of talking about mothers and support. That's what it kind of boiled down to, the supporting moms and the role of a mother specifically. Not that the fathers don't support, but there were so many issues that kept arising with mothers and supporting. So I wanted to talk about that, but in light of some new things that has came out, I just kind of wanted to dive into that, and then maybe next week we can get into some of the things about moms and supporting, because obviously looking at right now what's going on in the news, that's the more pertinent conversation. You know, it's just disheartening. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I actually very rarely like to discuss these situations because it just makes me angry, and and it's so sad because I feel like I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking and saying the same thing about the same situation. It's almost like, you know, we're on a loop. You know, it's like, are you serious again? You know, why is it the death toll this time? Like, why is this? It's almost like exciting to people,
right?
And I don't understand that. So I kind of
we're really not dealing with any of the issues.
No, we're not.
We're not touching the issues halfway. The hardest part that I see, we're looking at these kids go through this stuff, and no one's really giving them the right counseling that they need, and no one's really true love going to make you do something about it, other than sit and talk about it and have discussions and point fingers at who's to blame. Mm-hmm. But it's going to make you watch for signs. It's going to make you watch for the signs that are going, because this is not over.
No,
it's not over, and I don't like to jump straight into biblical facts, but these are spiritual matters as well. So everything that plays a part in making this right has to come together.
Well, you know what? We can't not add in the spiritual aspect of it, because that was also the target at one point in time. Just time last year. So this was the churches were the target. People was uncomfortable praying in the church, or people had to have, which not saying that we shouldn't have had it before, the deacons walking the perimeter of the church while people were praying and stuff for this reason. So that was a target as well. So it has to be a part of the conversation, because it is also being attacked.
The hard part about it is, can we accept it? We don't come together as much as we should. We talk about what end is not doing this and what end is not doing that, but if the family really come together, and I mean the family outside of mom and dad, I'm talking about the community. If we really get together and find out, let the people who deal with the spiritual issue deal with their issue, let mom and dad because the parents need to have counseling as well. Yeah. And they need to not be afraid of what's going to happen to little Johnny if they sell little Johnny out.
Well, you need to be afraid of what's going to happen to little Johnny if you don't.
Well, somebody should have caught this, and I know we're jumping into it a little early, but somebody should have caught this matter a long time ago. And now they want to get on a TV and say, well, we saw this happening. We saw this about this person. His attitude was changed. Why didn't you catch it? Why didn't you do something about it? Why did it have to get this far? But I understand we're not there yet. We're not talking about that just yet.
No. We're going to talk about it. I'm just kind of putting it out there right now. Let me say, before we get into that, hey, Rachel. Rachel is here with us. Rachel is she is in charge of, or one of the orchestrators of Saturday's event.
That's her event, right?
The mother and son, yes. But the school had to get the paperwork out because I don't want to say it wrong.
Okay.
It's hosted by Fort Worthington Elementary Middle School.
Right.
But it is her event. She was something that came from her book, Mothers and Sons, that she wrote. She was with us was it last week she was here?
The week before last.
Rachel was here with her husband, Pierre. And the event is on February the 17th, which is this Saturday from 9 to 5. Slots are filling up. I don't even know. I think registration is closed now.
I hope not, because I tried and I couldn't get on, but I'm not all that computer literate. So
yeah, I think it's closed if I'm not mistaken.
Rachel, I need a spot,
we
please.
need to know if it's closed and that we met capacity. It was 100 boys and 100 moms.
Right.
Free event this Saturday from 9 to 5. If it snows, which I don't think I heard something about snow, but not until later on the evening. It will be February 24th, but we're not claiming snow. 2710 East Hoffman Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21212. It is free. This event is 100% dedicated to the mothers and sons relationships. This summit is an opportunity for mothers and sons to gather, learn, acquire new skills, network, and ultimately celebrate their relationship. Over a dozen workshops and sessions, giveaway bags, shopping, fireside chats, lunches, intimate interviews, and mothers and sons have most all of these mothers and sons have a story to tell, but there are specifically people there to talk about their experience and from different perspectives, good, bad, or indifferent. So hopefully, if you didn't get a chance to register, if it is still open, www.compasscts.com, compasscts.com. Register if there's still time. And Sunset Soul will be there this Saturday, talking to some of the parents. So I hope to see everybody there. It's a really, really, really great event. I know that she was collecting ties and she was collecting Black Panther books to put in the giveaway bags for the boys. I mean, she's been out here grinding real hard to give the moms and to give the children. Not grinding real hard so that she can have sponsors to help her build or pay for or pad her pockets, or accolades in the same. She was doing this and she's grinding in order to give moms and in order to give these boys an awesome experience and have something to take away from it. She has men come in to teach boys how to properly tie ties. Like my sons need to be there and learn because I don't know how to do it. But tie ties 2 different ways and so forth. So her collecting and getting donations is to give right back to you. And she's been out there hustling hard. So she's a really great woman. Rachel, she'll be back with us. I want to kind of, hopefully when we get into this mother conversation, she'll be able to come back and talk to us about it. We had started talking about it on the Sunset Soul, one of the post that we posted. But today, outside of that, I want to first ask, let me first say, because I skipped over it, Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And everybody on here talking about Happy Side Chick Day. I don't really understand that whole concept. I mean, I understand it, but it's kind of like, it's just hurtful, and I don't understand why people like to hurt people. That's not what I do. It's funny, some of the memes, I ain't gonna lie. But
today is a Side Chick Day?
Today is supposed to be Side Chick Day.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday was Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So there's a couple guys that's on Facebook like, I just got out of jail, so we're gonna celebrate.
It's unbelievable how we take something so good and then we put the negative right beside it.
Vice versa. We take something and make it bad.
Prop it up and make it seem so worthy.
Well, people are saying Valentine's Day is supposed to be a negative thing, and we're trying to make. I'm saying, look, I don't know all the ins and outs of the orientation. It's just about a reminder. If you did, yes, you're supposed to show love all day, but on this day, just make sure you do.
Make it extra. Do a little extra.
That's it.
Or do what you haven't been doing.
That's pretty much it. Let me tell you something. I used to be the girl that was. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of sad. Like if I wasn't in a relationship, excuse me, hey, Art. If I wasn't in a relationship, I was sad, but I can say this Valentine's Day, I wasn't the least bit sad. Really? I wasn't the least bit lonely. I will say, everybody know I call, this is my relationship with my father, God. I call him my boyfriend sometimes. And I was really at work, I really wanted some chocolate. I was like, oh my goodness, I want a piece of chocolate so bad. Wow. I'm not going to lie to you. And the guy who works there was walking around giving all of the women, like, little chocolate boxes or whatever, but he don't know me. So I wasn't offended that he didn't have one for me because I just would assume, I haven't been here that long. Right. And he didn't know who I was. So he looked at me, I looked at him, and I said, hey, that was it. And I made sure he knew that I wasn't upset. Right. Then about 30 minutes later, I think he went out to the store.
Look at your boyfriend.
I know.
Oh, God, it's good. Hallelujah.
And went and bought me and was like, you know what? And he said, God told me, go get that girl a box of
Listen.
chocolate. I said, did he? Because I was telling God, I want a box of chocolate. I just said it just like that.
And he will do the small things.
Won't he will?
The best husband, boyfriend you'll ever have.
Yes, indeed.
He's a provider.
And I got a rose. And I had put the picture up. I was like, I
saw it in your
with
head.
some random.
Wow.
I mean, I was just getting stuff all willy-nilly. Thank you.
And you didn't even got to be the side chick.
And I was not. And I got it on Valentine's Day.
All day
so cute. Appreciate it.
You can't be.
And it's the fake rose.
What's up, family?
Listen, y'all, we can ready to take this first commercial break. Everyone who was tuning in, thank you so much. If you can do us a favor and share this so that other people can take part of the conversation, we can ready to get into this. We got a lot to talk about today, y'all. So stay tuned. And we really love and appreciate your feedback. So share this. Tell us what you think about what's going on right now. And stay tuned. Or you can call in if you want to talk to us. 410-702-5657. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Shepsworth Bentley, and you are tuning in right now, live to Homegrown Radio, every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com. Wow, that was a nice little introduction. I wonder who that was. Anyway, how y'all doing, everybody? We are back here on Homegrown Radio, here on BeExposedRadio.com. If you can't check us out on if you're not checking us out on the website.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on. I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be. You're live on the air. I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I know
I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Child, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn, because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on have and have-nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random plant in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plants.
It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to kick this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and the Have-Nots, and I continue to watch in this fifth season. But I get so mad when I can go get myself a glass of water and come back, and he had just started the next sentence in his first paragraph. I can't stand it.
They just want to get the point across.
It's not but you don't get the point for 4 episodes. It's too much.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back. We're back. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead and give your shout out.
Oh, I want to shout out to some of my family. You know, when certain people are here, I can't do this, so I want to thank my cousins for being on, Constance, and my sister-in-law Cindy, Charmaine. I want to thank my son for being up on here, my family, Lamont, my boy Lamont from high school. Got a bunch of friends. Pastor Sabrina Brown is on here.
How you doing, Pastor?
Pastor Brown, we thank you for being on here. And frat brother Cortez is on here. Robert Gross. I just thank y'all for supporting. I want y'all to chime in, call in. This is going to be a good show tonight.
I'm quite sure. We're just going to jump into some of the simple and media comment topics right now so that we can get that over with before we get into the heavy stuff. I hope everyone goes out and supports Black Panther. That comes out February the 16th, which is this
Friday, isn't it?
This Friday?
Isn't it Friday?
Tomorrow,
right.
Is it like midnight?
No, I think it's coming out regular.
Okay.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Tomorrow.
First showing is.
And listen, y'all, our awesome bishop here. Listen.
Is that what you're
gonna do?
Is that what you're gonna do?
Y'all about to get the scoop.
Oh.
The bishop.
Oh man.
Thought that Black Panther, this wonderful movie that's about to come out, was a, what did you say?
Spin-off of the movement Black Panther.
And you thought it was like an animated, futuristic
Black Panther movement
with the fists up.
Exactly. I did not know it was a cartoon character, a Marvel character.
Somebody come get it.
My brother-in-law told me it was a Marvel. I was disappointed.
Somebody come get it.
I don't even want to see it no more.
What you gonna see?
Because it was. I really thought that they were going to animate.
Did y'all hear that?
The movement of the Black Panther, like it was going to be the struggle of the black man, and we were going to do
No, we don't need no more. Come on, y'all.
I didn't know.
Please, somebody support me. We don't need no more struggle movement.
Listen. I thought it was going to be a struggle movement on the 2022 version of it. They all dressed up in these skin tight suits. I thought
thankfully that is not what it is.
My brother-in-law told me that it is a
Marvel comic
hero.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Miss Fanny. That's Miss or Miss.
Miss Fanny.
These pictures are so small, y'all. So if I say something, please, it's not my fault. I apologize. I can't really see it. Yes, Marvel. Let me tell you why I love the movie. First of all, I've been watching the interviews and they've been doing a lot of promotion.
Right.
The pictures are ridiculous. I mean, they are so awesome. The picture, like I don't know, they look beautiful.
You're gonna have to hype me up again about this because I'm not a Marvel comic.
I'm not a Marvel comic.
I'm a DC comic.
I'm not a Marvel comic. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not I'm not the comic girl, which I should be because my book and I'm trying to get get it out there. But this looks amazing, and the cast. I mean, they just seem so humble and just. I've heard nothing bad.
Right.
About the movie. One thing I can say, I was watching the interview with Chadwick Boseman, who's the main character, and they were talking about this. I guess a petition or something going around saying that they expect or they're hoping for Marvel to donate 25% of its proceeds to the black community, African American community.
If this ain't a movement, I don't know what you're talking about.
That is not
this
a movement.
Is a movement. If they donate it to the community,
absolutely
bring it to the black community.
They're not donating anything. People are saying that no. First of all, they've already donated. You know how? They got an all-black cast they wrote checks for.
So they donated to their family. I can guarantee you they don't live in our community.
That ain't the point.
I can guarantee you that.
But they donated to a whole cast full of black people. They gave them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after all them people got opportunities.
They earned their position. They good actors.
They definitely earned. Yeah,
so they didn't give them anything.
And that's exactly what I feel about Marvel. Like they earned the opportunity. They paid them people. Why should Marvel have to now donate 25% of their proceeds? Why?
I didn't
What
say
did we
that
give
they
them?
should, but you got me hyped up like
But
it was about to be a movement.
what did we as black people?
We bought
in
the comics.
What did we went out there it wasn't just us buying comics. All that money be gone if they had to give back 25% of the community support their comics. They just
Look, Marvel, I need you to give back half of your
I think that's
income.
ridiculous. I think that here we go again.
I think you need to put the beret back onto the main character. Give him a beret. Let him tilt it to the side. I think it's crazy. Every now and then, throw your fist up.
I think it's crazy that anybody should feel like just because you have black people in the cast that you should give 25%
No, I don't believe
of proceeds.
that. I don't believe that, y'all.
I'm embarrassed that they asked for it. Like, this is one of the moments, you know how black mothers used to be like, Lord, they got embarrassing me. Like, and that's how I feel. Why are you asking these people to give 25% of their proceeds? They done paid all these people.
They're asking us to ban Netflix. Why can't we ask?
No. They ain't asking one person.
That's a character.
And I'm not going to say
that should
her
be
name.
a Marvel comic.
One person stood in front of a door
right.
and said, this is what I need from all you beautiful people. That's not Marvel didn't say that, and nor did I don't know who asked, who started this petition.
No, I'm joking. We're not even going to talk about.
Well, yeah, we're not. I just think it's crazy that they asked. I feel like it looks like here we go again asking for a handout, and I think that's embarrassing in my opinion. And if y'all feel like, and if I'm wrong, those who are watching. First of all, let me thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully that you share this and call in if you want to have any give any insight in this conversation. 410-702-5657. 410-702-5657. You right. Can you tell me if I'm wrong? Why do y'all, if I'm wrong, do you feel like Marvel should give 25% of their proceeds to the African American community just because their cast is black when they've already employed a whole lot of black people on that cast?
I think they employed them because they needed them.
Yes, because it's called Black Panther.
Then they're good actors. So they didn't give our community anything.
They didn't. No, I don't think they gave us anything.
Matter of fact, they're actually taking from our community and making money off of it because of the black characters.
So is this water that I'm drinking that I can't say their name? This
I don't see the water taken from.
Mentos is taken from our community.
Mentos have done nothing to take from our community.
Okay.
Maybe Dunkin' Donuts, but then again.
Same thing. But let's support. 30 seconds already?
Please support.
Listen, y'all, those who are watching, share this, please, and so that others can take part in the conversation. When we come back, I want to get into, I'm going to give y'all some information on some new changes here in Maryland. Stay tuned.
Please listen
and
to
can
this.
Y'all,
this
stay tuned. This is very important. Stay tuned. There's some changes that's going to be taking place here in Maryland, so y'all might want to stay tuned for you get caught up. We'll be right back.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Woo!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to
Then what you're going to
this.
do is turn onto Marcy Avenue.
Just broke up
and go past the first 3 lights and then take the next left.
I don't really
then
think
drive 5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. Before the commercial break, we were talking about some of the changes that's going to take place here in Maryland that you guys need to be aware of. First off, I'm quite sure we shared it to the Sunset Soul page. As of January the 30th, smoking is now illegal in Maryland with children in the car. I'm going to say this again. Smoking in the car with children.
That's crazy.
Is now illegal. What I have not been able to find out is is it a ticket or some sort of fine, or what it is, what's going to happen if that be the case if you got pulled over. I'm assuming it would be a ticket.
Yeah.
Or some sort, but it's probably going to be a high fine, especially because they just passed it. Fanny said if Marvel does get 25% or any percentage, wouldn't they benefit with tax credits or deductions of some sort? Probably. Why wouldn't he?
It would definitely be a benefit to them. That would be the only reason why.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should not. I don't think that they should. I don't think they should be obligated just because it's a cast of black people.
This would be a great business move.
If
you really want, it'd be a great business move.
I mean, it'd be a good look.
Especially if you want the black community to support it and get back into Marvel Comics. How often do you have the what is the thing that they have downtown at the arena when they all dress up in their costumes? Comic-Cons. How often do you get a bunch of black people coming down there?
It's actually a good amount from what I can see. People, I mean, they're into it.
So if you got the young people into it, you would definitely want the money of those who don't.
Marvel?
They have two of them, so I thought one of them was DC as well.
Okay, I don't know about that. This is why I'm trying to learn all that. Is Comic-Con, whoever's watching, if y'all happen to be a fan of Marvel or Comic-Con, is it two separate Comic-Cons? Is it like one for Marvel and one for DC, or is it just Comic-Con period for whomever that does, the comics?
My question is, what part of the community is going to get this money?
Who gets it? What African American, right? That would be a good question. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think that they're even considering it. I'm be honest with you. This is just what people are putting out there that they feel like they should. I just don't. I can understand there would be a great plan if Marvel said that, as far as trying to build an audience, in the African American community. That's cool. But what makes them responsible? Like, why? That's what I didn't get about that part. But neither here nor there. If they do it, great. It's not going to hurt. If they don't, I'm not going to not see the movie because they're not giving us 25% of their, of their money. I don't get it. One con. Okay, so it's just Comic-Con. So everybody, I guess, comes. I'm gonna go. It seemed fun from what I see. I'm a little, I'm gonna do statues. So I'm a little. I might get there and
I don't do costumes.
None?
No, I don't trust people.
Well, you don't want to be there because they got some crazy stuff.
When I'm driving by, they walking by. Nah.
And I would be scared to turn around and is that your son?
Yeah, that's my son right there.
Granted, most of their proceeds will come from the black community. Marvel, the industry, has no obligation to the black community. Absolutely. No, they don't. So said black folks crazy. Yeah, we are. But, I mean, they're going to give it to who? Okay, we crazy. We give it to the sane asylums. Spring Grove going to get 25%.
Not at all. Not at all.
But yes, starting January 30th, listen. Smoking in the car, illegal for your kids. Illegal for you to smoke in the car with your children. I think that Ben should have done that.
What made them pass that law? I mean,
cancer.
You might as well say smoking in your house should be illegal too.
I mean, smoking around children. I think because
will make a big difference.
I think because they have windows. I mean, I think it's just access. Like it's just the children in the car, they can't breathe. I always had an issue with that. Looking at people smoking, and they had their window kind of slightly open. I've been in the car with people, and I didn't smoke at the time.
But still say black folks are crazy.
Yes, they are. And I just think that it's just direct contact with smoke. I don't know whether or not in the house
passing
is any
the wrong crazy laws, man.
What? You think it's crazy?
No, I don't think it's crazy. I think there's other laws that need to be passed way before.
They've been trying to get this passed for quite some time. I mean, I hated seeing that. I think it's a good thing, especially babies. I think it's a good thing.
What's next? You can't eat while you're driving?
I honestly thought that was a law a long time ago. Do you know how many accidents I almost had trying to eat I'll be honest with you. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So if they told me that, I'd be like, I totally understand.
You know how boring driving about to be?
If you can't do nothing?
That you can't do
You
nothing.
can't meditate. If it look like your eyes wandering off, you get a ticket.
A lot of people do these things just to focus. They eat chips or they drink soda or smoke a cigarette, especially when they're on a long drive. I doze off, man. I will listen. If I'm behind you, you praying all the way because I
prayed all the way anyway.
In a heart.
But on a not a lighter note, it's actually a worse note, but I think it's needed. Governor Hogan just signed a bill terminating parental rights of rapists. No, listen, he terminating parental rights of rapists here in Maryland, even without a conviction. The mother has a right now to petition the court for parental rights of that child if she claims she was raped by said guy.
Wow.
The judge, so they don't have to be convicted of being a rapist or had done the crime. And that doesn't mean they're going to lose their parental rights, but now the mother can now petition for custody of her child if she claims this man raped her, and the judge now has to weigh all of the evidence to say yay or nay if he'll lose his rights.
I don't even know how to address this issue because this can go bad on both ways.
It could go bad.
It can go bad on both ways, and the hard part about it is we don't need another reason why the woman should get the child. They don't need another reason. Maryland already have a strong pro-woman laws that benefits them getting a child over top of the man anyway.
We'll come up a little bit
so we don't need another reason or another excuse or something that can get these young men in trouble. Then you have to determine what was rape. Because a lot of young men are having intimate sex with these women, and they're allowing them to do this.
No means no.
I agree with you.
No means no at any point in time.
I 100% agree with you. But what happens when no happens after the sexual encounter? No,
what do you mean?
Exactly. What I'm talking about is we having sex and I make you mad later on.
So then you
go back and say I was raped. It happens all the time.
Listen, I can't say that it don't, but this is why they're saying the judge have to completely weigh all of the evidence to say yes or no that this woman was or was not raped. I'm quite sure that it's not a simple he say she say and then it's. I don't think it's. I think it's very detailed, and that's even if he was convicted. That's a whole nother case. It's not the same judge.
That's a whole nother thing.
On your day off.
Yeah, bruh, you can still come down here. We have some time.
On.
I look forward to I apologize I wasn't here last week. I missed you, bruh, last week.
So, but here's the thing. If he's convicted of rape,
then that's something totally
different. It's he can lose his but the parent still would have to petition for.
So it's not on the accusation.
It's not on the accusation.
Do he immediately lose his parental right?
This is the mother has to file for full custody for the parent to lose his parental rights. So this is not the question of if he did or if he did not rape her.
But the thing is, right now, most women or men, you can go down there before any petition is filed in the court, file an emergency right to have full custody, and it's granted to you. if they feel like the child is in danger or the child and the parent is in danger, they can give you emergency custody right there.
If the question is if he raped or did not rape you, I can understand them winning full custody in the emergency situation.
This? After the child is born or while the child?
I don't think. Excuse me. I don't think that you can do anything while you're pregnant. I don't think that that's the case. I don't know. Maybe you can.
Of doing it.
No,
she has to prove it that she was raped. Majority of the time that you
no, she can. Her proving that she was raped is a whole nother case. This Governor Hogan is saying that he has signed a bill that she can now petition the courts for full custody. They didn't have that before. So remember, we weren't here when we did a show that the woman had to allow her rapist visitation. He didn't lose his custody. Nate was here when we had that. We had that show we talked about. He didn't lose his custody, and even though she was raped by this man, and he was in jail for it. When he came home, she had to give him visitation. Whether it was supervised or not, I don't remember. But she had to give him visitation, and which I thought was crazy that she had to do that. Well, here in Maryland, now she could have petitioned the court for full custody while he was in prison or whatever, and she could have or could not have. That doesn't mean that they're going to win. The judge still has to say yes or no why you feel like this man, not just because he raped you. Now, of course, I believe that's an argument, but I don't think that's the only thing. Well, he raped me, so he can't see my child. I think it's a whole list of things that they have to deal with. They said it has to be overwhelming evidence for the judge. He has to now weigh out that decision. The link is on the Sunset Soul page. Feel free to go back and look at it.
Definitely, I have to look at it.
But listen, but they said in order for Hogan to be able to pass that, he had to also recuse the parent of any financial responsibility. So, meaning the father has lost his parental rights and he's no longer responsible for taking care of that child. Because some people was losing parental rights
and still have to take care of this
child support.
Man, me and my Robert were just talking about this earlier before I came on the show. A lot of women want to forego their right to decide whether if they want to have abortions or not, and it's the woman's decision. So why isn't it the man's decision whether he wants to pay child support or not? Especially if he did, especially if he that makes sense. No, listen. Especially if you and Rob, please, if you get some time, call in because I would love for you to explain this. Especially if he does not have the right to say. You're have an abortion.
If she wants to keep the child and
he does not,
then okay.
And she she has all right to say, I don't want this child. He don't have anything to say. She has an abortion against his will. Or just go out and have an abortion. Well, she have rights and laws that protect her to have her own abortion. Am I right? But so if this guy decides, okay, I'm saying I want you to have an abortion, and you're saying I don't want to have an abortion, should he have some protection on him, stating that we can't agree? Why do I have to take care of this? Why do I have to take care of this child?
So not that I
family. It is. Listen, family. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just stating it's a statement. Lisa, I'm not saying I agree with it, Lisa. What I'm saying is these women have rights to protect them having an abortion.
Thank you. You know I was going to say it. That's a grown man who made a grown man decision.
So is that's a grown woman who laid down and made a grown woman decision. And now have a decision on her own to have the child and keep the child.
I knew Basil was going to say that.
She gets to say, I want this child or don't want this child. Why don't the man get to say, I want this child or don't?
I don't disagree. I'm not saying I completely disagree. I think I don't agree with...
And I don't agree with abortions at all. I need y'all to understand bishop do not agree with abortion.
The question on the floor. So do you feel like those who are watching, Lisa, I know your position, Basil, I know you're saying a good point to argue, but he never takes a side. If a man tells a woman, first of all, did he tell the woman prior to sleeping with her, I don't want children? Did he put in the condom and then it was a mistake, the condom broke or so forth? And even if it did, I'm quite sure you knew that it broke. You made a conscious decision to lay up with a woman that you knew did not want to have an abortion.
But what I'm saying is you can agree both together saying, I don't want a child. I don't want a child. And it happens. It happens. Now, all of a sudden, you're pregnant 3 or 4 months in it, and you don't know until about 2 or 3 months that you're pregnant. Oh, I want to keep it. His mind is still saying our agreement that we don't want a child. Now, you have absolute right to control his whole life, whether you're going to keep this child or not.
Well, no. He had absolute right to still... You took this woman at her word, right or wrong?
Agree. And
so y'all had a conversation saying, I don't want to have children, and she said, you're right, I don't want to have no children.
Exactly.
Then y'all
got
together,
intimate. Yeah, you got.
And she gets pregnant.
2
months in, and she's like, I can't do it. I want to keep it.
Exactly.
And you're saying, y'all heard my cry voice. I don't want to. No, I'm sorry. So, and because she did that, you feel like you should be able to go to the courts and say she said no.
Yeah, she said no.
You know what?
And I have to pay for this.
Did you know what?
Get it in writing.
I was just getting ready to say that. Get written consent. That's all you need.
Now I am not. Listen to me. I am not promoting unprotected sex. I am not promoting sex before marriage. I just got to say that.
Okay.
But we do have people out here that's doing that.
Okay, Lawrence got a question. He said, if the father doesn't show up to court, what happens?
He automatically have to do the child support. You lose all opportunity.
No, I think this was about the parental rights. Like, if you don't show up to court, of course you would lose, because then you don't have a voice. You don't care, right? Does the mother win full, and does the father, who was never charged previously because of his show court appearance, lose? Okay, I don't know. Does the father then find out he's a rapist on the court documents and loses the parental rights and is lawfully deemed a rapist from that courtroom? No. Okay, what it is him being convicted of rape is its own charge. The woman then has to go to court and says this man raped me. Whether he's convicted or not has nothing. This is two separate judges. That has nothing to do with whether he loses his parental rights. She has to then, the same way she went to file charges saying this man raped me, she has to then go to petition for custody through the courts in a whole separate, account. And then that judge has to determine whether or not this man wins or loses parental rights. If he's convicted of rape, I think that's a no-brainer.
But even if he's not.
But if he's not convicted, and that doesn't mean he's going to lose. If he's not convicted, she still have a right to petition
He loses
for.
as soon as she put in file that he raped her. And especially if
I
it's
don't
wrong.
think so.
As soon as it goes on a docket, as soon as you charge somebody, that's on your record. The charge alone is on your record. Mm-hmm. He's automatically getting pulled over. He's automatically getting locked up until they find him not guilty.
Okay.
Especially rape.
I don't know.
So
that's
the
so
beginning of losing,
now.
the beginning of losing, please, as soon as you file there's such and such rape, it's going on the docket, it's a charge. Mm-hmm. They're going to pick him up, and all this stuff starts a big paper trail. Mm-hmm. And a paper trail that may not be real. It might not be right. And he has to now show that a burden of proof that he didn't do it the same way she has to show the burden of proof that she did.
And I think that's why they said the evidence will have to be overwhelming.
But it's already started a
So you think just because the paperwork is there and there's a question or a doubt in the judge's mind that he automatically loses parental rights?
I'm not saying he loses. I'm talking about the part of him losing starts as soon as she files it. He loses because all of this is open documents. So his job, if his job is against it, he loses his job. People don't want to be around him. Family members don't want to deal with him.
Well, you know what? That goes right back to the comment about what you said about the abortion. You are still a grown man who made a decision. If this woman is crying rape, I'm not saying that people don't lie. I also think that it's just as hard to prove that it's the truth.
Exactly, but it's in file. You know how many people I done locked up and found out, listen, I'm doing my job.
Lawrence Watch said if never convicted, he's on a court docket as a rapist.
He's on a court docket.
I don't think he's as a rapist.
He's not convicted as a rapist, but that's what the docket opened up as. So
right, but if he's proven not guilty,
he still has work to do to get it expunged off his record.
If he's proven not guilty,
he still got to get the charges out of his legal records. Even if it's not guilty, it'll show on his docket that proven not guilty, but it's still there. Oh, okay. Now I have to pay. I had to pay $200 just to get it off a circuit court docket.
Okay, listen, y'all. We gotta take a commercial break. When we come back, we haven't even gotten to half of the stuff we want to talk about. We're still reading your comments. We're gonna read some when we come back. Stay tuned. Share this. We would appreciate it so that others can take part in this conversation. Or you can call us when we come back from commercial break at 410-702-5657. Call after the commercial break. 410-702-5657. We can't answer during the commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like
true story. I was born into a family in a community of hustlers. Now let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artist or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition, and I'm paraphrasing, but the definition of hustle is forced movement or to be hurried, right? But we're not talking about just pushing other people. Sometimes you got to push yourself, and that what makes you a hustler. True story. So the thing about it is, like, when it comes to hustling, listen, quick story. I used to go buy juleps a lot, right? And my grandmother used to make me clean the yard, shovel snow, do things like that to go get a julep. But one day she was like, look, you putting all your money in someone else's pocket.
Word.
Save those quarters, and I can teach you how to make a formula, and you can sell your own juleps. You understand? So the next couple weeks, I saved my money.
Always a hustler.
Listen,
got to love
but think
everybody
about
got
this.
a grandma's story like that.
Grandmothers are the natural hustlers because they were the ones who maintained and sustained our families through epidemics. You're talking Big Mama went through slavery and held it. You're talking Big Mama went through the Depression and held it. Big Mama went through crack and held it and still maintains it today. So if you don't think you come from a hustler, then you don't know where you come from. You understand?
That's so real.
I began to sell juleps, and ever since then, I capture a hustle. And a hustle is not a swindle. It's not a sneaky thing. It's up front. You're providing a need. You understand? So you're the bridge. If you're a true hustler, you're trying to be the bridge. If somebody's on one side and they need to get the other, you're trying to be the bridge, fill in the gap. So hustling is a lifestyle. It's not something you can do 10 minutes out the day. It has to be something you live.
Word. Hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live. Here, live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back. Let's read some of these comments real quick. Lisa said, sorry, the decision was made when you slept together. And it's over after that. But this is in regards to the bishop's comment about not having to assume responsibility for a child if you make clear to the opposite sex that you do not want to have any children, and then she changes her mind 2-3 months in. Then she Fanny said the choice should be both of theirs. Yes, it should be both. Lisa, if you're having sex, then you have accepted responsibility. That's what I say. I agree.
What?
If you choose to have sex with somebody, then you have accepted responsibility.
Of what? The sex or raising
the
a
child,
family?
or the chance for the child.
Who are you telling that to?
This is what she's saying in
Oh,
regards
okay,
to the guy saying that he has a choice, and whether or not he should have the choice, and whether or not he pay child support. If you're choosing to have sex with somebody that you know could possibly get pregnant, then you assume responsibility as soon as you sleep with them.
So it goes back to what I said before. She chooses the responsibility of aborting a child that he might want.
Agreed.
What makes her a decision greater than his
because
decision?
It's her body.
But we are equal, aren't we?
No.
Not equal.
Not when you're carrying.
No,
I'm not saying you're. Not when it comes
equal
out to
opportunity
carrying this child, because it's my body. Lisa said you can't have sex and then say, "But I don't want to take care of it." That is nonsense. They need to keep their stuff in their pants or deal with it.
I agree with you, Lisa.
Absolutely. Tamika said no child is a mistake. They both lay down willingly, so they bear the responsibility together.
I agree. But what happens when one of them takes the responsibility in their own hand and abort the baby? Or one of them take the responsibilities in their own hand and say, I'm keeping it after we done talked about aborting the baby. Or not having a child.
Then maybe that should be the question. Whether or not you should be able to get an abortion after agreeing to carry a child. Maybe that, I don't know. I just feel like because the woman has to carry the child
alone,
the decision should be hers.
I gotta constantly make this disclaimer. I don't agree on abortions at all, and I have a strong stance on that. So,
in regards to the comment about the men. I'm assuming men, or that's more times than not, being convicted of rape and possibly losing their parental rights. Tamika said, "You're always guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty." Lisa said, "When you sleep with someone, you should do so knowing that this may be the parent to your child," and that's what doesn't happen.
I agree with you.
That definitely does not happen. People should do that more, and I should have took. Let me not say that on air. I agree. You don't get to decide after the woman is pregnant. Your decision to father a child is when you decide to have intercourse. A man can make the decision as soon as he is able to get pregnant. So, sorry, but not sorry. That's it. You make the decision when you sleep with the woman, and that's at least I agree. I think that once you lay down with the woman and you say, whether you say I want or don't want to have children, when you sleep with her knowing there's a possibility that she can get pregnant, then that makes you know that moving forward, if she gets pregnant, the decision is hers. That's your seed. Your seed that you deposited. Not to get nasty, you deposited the seed.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at you. I told you I don't have a stance. I take neutral. I think you should do right.
You think you should
do right, you'll get right.
I agree.
You get what you get when you do what you do.
Last, I think as far as Maryland goes, outside of that, is the subway shut down for a month. I know by now you know that the subway, they shut the subway down. So
really?
It's bus only. It was only supposed to be for like that weekend or that day or something like that, and then it was that bad that they said that they had to do complete reconstruction.
That's what these big charter buses running around here on Wrightstown Road.
Is that what they? Oh yeah,
yeah.
They did say they was going to add some buses.
So are they paying the same fare?
I don't know,
because them charter buses.
You know, the buses in the city you can ride for free now. Certain buses in the city.
Say, what?
Not all the buses, but certain buses you can ride for free now. So the thing that scares me is my child was on these buses. Yes, there's a chance you're willing to take. Yes, at that point, I agree. I'm with Lisa on that one. The thing about it is my child was on these subways and buses all this time, and if it was that bad that they went to having to shut it down for one day or the weekend to now shutting it down for a complete month, I mean, how dangerous was it?
Oh wow!
Dealing with ice and snow and all that, the subways were still running.
And now you decide to shut it down.
And now you shut it down for a month because it's that bad. That kind of puts me in a bad place. It's just everything is so dangerous. Even with the pipes here in Maryland. That was we posted about the flood on Jones Falls. The sewage had flooded. The pipes here, everything is just old, over 100 years old from what they're saying. And
how's taxes going
you're not
up?
telling the truth.
How's taxes going up? And
taxes going up. We got the casinos and everything, and Maryland is going down. Listen, y'all, we're in the second part of the hour. We're ready to take this next commercial break, which is going to be 2 minutes. When we come back, I really want to get your input. You can already start kind of giving us your feedback on this this shooting in Florida. There's so much to talk about when it comes down to that. So could you can send us your responses and your opinions and your however you feel about the situation, and we'll read it when we come back and share it so others can take a part. And if you have anything to say, you want to talk about it, give us a call 410-702-5657. And in the second half of the hour, we're going to devote to this crazy nonsense that's going on with the school system and the youth right now. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. You become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No. The fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to Monday. Every Monday, Be Exposed Radio, Just a Bit Outside radio show. Sports, Baltimore.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So my cologne is too strong. That's what you're saying. I didn't say it was too strong.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is that
you're not gonna come in here. You're not gonna merge Artist Exchange. You're not gonna merge with Sunset Soul.
First of all, that's gonna be royalties to even.
I'm not doing it. I love you, Sid. Bye. So
because I guess that's how I'm responsible.
We're back. Before the commercial break, we started to get into. Well, we didn't even really start it. We introduce the conversation of, I don't even know if I want to say his name. I'm just gonna say the 19-year-old.
Okay.
I just don't feel like I'm not gonna say it. The 19-year-old boy who decided to walk into the Florida high school, Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, and just start shooting. You're going to start hearing stuff about mentally ill and bullying and just disturbed and all these labels that you don't usually hear when it's our people. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Mm-hmm. When it's us, you hear thug, hood, you hear, just so many, I don't even know, gang related drugs. Yes. It's so crazy.
Broken homes, all kinds of nonsense.
I didn't write it down. Did I write it down? I was watching as I was writing down the information for this. There was a shooting earlier this afternoon in Fairfield, Virginia, because I didn't get a chance. Fairfield, Virginia. Two groups of people started shooting at each other outside of the mall, and one of the men who was out there wound up being killed. Now, they didn't tell you if it was black people or white people, and so you didn't know exactly what it was. You did hear them say, do you feel like it was gang related or this, that, and the other? To me, I just feel like it's all automatically assumed, with something, and it's so unfair. Like, find out what it is before you start, because then people already have some type of preconceived notion of what this is before you even get the information.
Yep.
And that's all you need to do is have an idea, in your opinion, because in the sketched in stone, it's in your head that this is what it is.
That's why we don't have our own opinion.
Not at all.
We build it off of somebody else's decision and how they think of it.
Time, and it's crazy because this boy. I mean, you got our 45. I don't even want to say president, but you have him doing tweets talking about how, pointing blame at the students, and what did he say? The students and the community for not doing something about it, not saying something about it. I'm trying to figure out how he feels like pointing the blame. And let me be clear. He was talking about them seeing the signs and that they should have, you know, said something. I don't completely disagree with him. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have, if there was something that was seen that they did. I said, well, wait a minute. How do they know what the students or the teachers or whomever saw if they didn't tell them that they saw it?
Right.
Something had to be seen or documented in order for them to know. You know what?
And I don't want to jump into it like this, but then again, I am, because, and I need some real believers to hear clearly what I'm saying. I'm not going to make this thing super spooky, but whenever God is going to do something in the world and on the earth, period. If you notice from biblical times up until now, the enemy sends a decree out to start killing children. When Moses came into the land, when Moses was being revealed to deliver God's people, guess what happened? He mass murdered children. Jesus came in, and I'm not preaching. What I want us to start to see is that a lot of things that are going on right now today is more spiritual than is natural. We're reacting to natural stuff when we should be literally looking at what's going on in the spiritual realm. Now, yeah, we can give all these guys all kind of psychological help and everything, but some of these children don't even know what they're doing. And they have subliminally already been spoken to through movies and video games and music that they're listening to. And there's so much going on in their head. They're hearing noises, but they can't decipher it.
And they think it's that life is a game.
It's a game.
It's you know, it's not real. And it's so crazy because what you just said today, right after this killing, you got the what is the name of the squad? I have it right here in my face and I can't read. Lock Raven school on lockdown because one of the kids in there brought a pellet gun. And it made me so angry. That's why I don't like having these discussions, because it made me so mad that you would put yourself in danger. Nobody's playing with these kids. Listen, and you go to school with a pellet gun.
Again, we're getting mad at the kids. We are so shouting and we're dancing and we're speaking in tongues. We forget that we're spiritual, but there are spirits that's entering into our children. They don't know why they're doing.
Lisa just said they're being programmed intentionally.
Well, I wouldn't even say intentionally, Lisa. I would say that there are signs there through the TV shows and all that other stuff. But we have an enemy that we're wrestling against, and they're using our children. If you notice, it was given back in Bible. Let's go back to the Bible days. It was given by Herod the authorities to go out and start killing. Now, these are police officers back then to start killing kids. It was given by pharaohs that police officers and those who had authorities start killing kids. All of a sudden now, you got police officers in our time killing kids. Now that we're on to the police officer, now there's more children killing kids. They don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
They're mentally.
But doesn't that go with what Lisa's saying about
I agree with you, but I didn't understand whether she was saying a sector of people doing it or not. And Lisa, I'm 100% agreeing with you. We have an enemy that we're not dealing with.
Well, and using what you just said, and I don't believe I'm about to say this. Doesn't that confirm to some extent what Trump is saying, that we have an obligation to see these things and act on it, like that little boy?
Who has
I'm talking about right now. To me, I'm talking about the parents.
But if the parents are blind, this is the thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're dealing with supernatural stuff with natural eyes, so we can see it, but we still don't know what to do with it. But if the people that's supposed to have supernatural eyes do their job, if the watchers on the wall do their job and stop entertaining people. And I'm gonna try not to preach or get emotional. If we stop trying to entertain people and get people to be politically correct, and you have to be able to do this to be a Christian, do this to be supernatural. If we start telling the truth about it, these kids are possessed. If we deal with the issue, and not only are the kids, the children are, the adults are possessed.
Let me tell you that you just said that, and you know I never really use this platform, which I should, to promote my book, Nibia. But there's a part that focuses solely on that. and the spirits chose the children in my book.
Sure.
And those who don't have it in my book is Nivea. It's a family fiction novel. But I'm telling you, it is so important for right now, for what's going on. They chose the spirits chose the children to do the work, but they chose an environment that had, should we say, chaperones. But the chaperones was under the authority of the negative spirit, because they were also right. And I even when I wrote that, I fight with, why were they so easily taken just like the children?
If the strong man is, if the Bible says, if the strong man is locked up, if he's bound, how is he going to protect his house? The only way the enemy can literally come into the house and pillage the house, or steal from the house, or rape the house, or however you want to say, is they got to bind the strong man. It's a lot of people who claim to be the strong man. They're going to church, but they don't have what they need. The crazy part about it, Lisa, is that we're so entertained that we forget that we can be possessed over by spirits and don't even
like
we Christians
said,
we're not possessed.
We're not with God the way we should be. And that's why I said I put summers. I can't completely say that what Trump said is wrong, because we as parents, we are so focused on other things that we're not paying attention.
No, stop saying focus. Stop saying focus.
Okay, so what's the
we're
word?
Possessed by other things.
No, parents are possessed by other things and not.
Yes.
Okay, so why is it possessed by other things and not focused on? What's the difference between being possessed and
because
focused on?
a lot of things is that we call focus is possession means it has our full captivity. Our minds, we're losing sleep over bills.
But possession is control.
And exactly. That's why you get up every day the same time, even if you're sick, because your bills, financial possession or poverty has gotten you, and we don't want to say this, poverty has gotten us so bad that we'll go to work sick. But on a Sunday morning when we know a good word is coming and God's going to bless us, we'll call out sick from church, the thing that we really need. Because we're possessed by a poverty spirit that we have to fix this issue. Instead of just asking God to deal with it, we put it in our own hand to handle it. Now that poverty spirit knows how to control us, so now we're not focusing on our children growing up to give them what they need.
Lawrence said if it were Muslim kids or Hispanic kids or black kids shooting up the school, there would be policies and uproars. Since it is white kids shooting up the schools, everyone's hands are up in disbelief without a clue of what to do.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that what I'm talking about, if we continue to make it a black-white issue, then we'll miss the whole point. It is all over it's all over the board. It's all over the board.
But making it a black-white issue is the distraction intended. It's supposed to be the distraction, because we are going to do that. That is such the focus right now that's going to take away from focusing on the fact that the children are under attack.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be the distraction.
So brother, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, if we continue to look at this is a white community, this is an Asian community, this is a black community issue, instead of looking at it as a spiritual issue, then we're going to continue to fight something that doesn't exist.
The actual issue outside of being a spiritual issue is still an issue. Like the crazy thing is there's no wrong to me. Putting total focus in the fact that it's a racism issue isn't always, it's not bad, but it's still a distraction nonetheless.
It goes to this. Everybody, I said in the beginning, everybody has their place. If the spiritual people who's placed in heads do their job and allow the government to do their job and allow the police officers to do their job, and yet we all work together, we can cover them. But what's happening is you have the church, the spiritual people now dipping in areas that they shouldn't be, so their position, their tower is not covered. Habakkuk, I love Habakkuk. Habakkuk said, I will stand upon my watch and watch and see what the Lord. Literally, he said, I'm going to stay here until God speaks to me. I'm not going to get down. I'm not going to go work on something else. I want God to speak to me. While that's going on, God is dealing with the police officers to patrol. God is dealing with the politician. But we've now come off the wall to do the politics, because they're not right in politics. So we need more preachers in the politics.
So it's chaos amongst the chaos that's going on.
Exactly. And we're not helping by coming off the wall. If we stay where we supposed to stay at, and be honest, and be honest about it, if we stay where we supposed to stay at and ask God, who is God, if we ask him to cover everything else, then we'll be all right. But what happens is we're coming off the wall trying to do somebody else's job, and our wall is uncovered. Our children are uncovered. Okay, and we'll medicate them. We're medicating them, and adds to the issue, because now the human body under medication cannot fight against anything.
Now, Lisa said we need to learn to be still, meaning who? Us as the parents, the spiritual leaders. Who's to be still? Who's to work and who's to be still in a situation where everybody has to know their place?
That's the thing. When we are being still, it's not the fact that we're not working. If I'm not wrong, Lisa, I can speak on this.
Yeah, she said, and quiet, so we can hear him.
We need to, the leaders need to learn how to hear from God and stop getting so emotional with everybody else. We can't be in an uproar while everybody else is in the uproar.
Right. So we have to work in silence at the moment.
Not just in silence. We have to work.
We have to work in our lane.
In our lane. That's all I'm saying.
So we have to fight spiritual. Everybody and let them fight
and let them do their end.
Okay.
It's just like Moses. Okay.
Wait a minute, don't get into that because we got to go to commercial break. Listen, y'all, we just started. We're still talking about the shooting in Florida when we come back, and what we should and should not be doing, what we should and should not be focusing on, and what is the best or most beneficial tactic we can take to help ensure that this does not continue to happen, at least in our community, our reach. So stay tuned. We'll continue when we come back.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine, that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial.
Her view. That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that's just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talked about. She's irrelevant.
You said her name like 3 times already.
She's irrelevant.
I said it once.
Dash. ... So I couldn't have meant that more. She is so irrelevant. I'm not even gonna say her name. But we're here every Tuesday, and we talk about people just like that at 7 p.m.
If you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real. Right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money should go to. If the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month, maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back. The commercial break. First of all, before the commercial break, we was talking about the shooting in Florida. 17 people killed in Florida at Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, by a 19-year-old boy. I just won't say his name just because I don't want to. But you can see it everywhere. We have a thing with making the murderer or the mass murderer or the whatever you want to call them, the highlight, and that's what they want. They want to go down with all this, like they are a warrior, right? And it's just he actually is still alive, and they caught him alive and managed to get him in the car without a spot or a wrinkle. Not to be.
What's crazy is he was so mentally that they found him after going to a restaurant and buying him some food and everything.
What is that? The man that was shooting people in Chicago got caught at McDonald's for fries.
Listen, because
don't you eat before you go killing people?
Literally,
I'm
get
sorry.
hungry, huh?
Serious.
Literally, a lot of times if you ask them, they don't know what they're doing, and that goes back to what I was going to say before. Because I heard one of the comments here.
Yeah.
We need to be still and listen for direction. But a lot of times, and I hope you don't take me wrong, we have the wrong people being still.
Okay.
If you go back to Moses' time, when Moses and them were fighting, the children of Israel were fighting, Moses had to stand on a hill. And as long as Moses' arms were lifted with his rod, Israel won.
Okay.
And that goes to here. As long as the right people are listening and on place, we can win this. The hard part is we want to silence the ones who God is really talking to. And we want to amplify the ones who are loud and able to get a point across and sound so good. Everybody can't be still. Somebody has to fight. If Moses would have got off that rock and began to fight, guess who would have lost? And it goes back to my point. Everybody has a position. It's nothing wrong with having fighters on the ground. Boots on the ground is very important. But everybody can't be the fighter. Somebody has to be in a closet seeking what God would say so that they can bring back direction. But we're so busy being busy that we're not doing what we need to do to stay protected. So I'm trying not to.
LeVar Jr. said the separation of church and state was one of the biggest detriments to this country.
I agree with you, sir.
Slowly easing religion, Christianity, whatever religion, truthfully now, out of anything, the political, anything, schools, but yet they will fight for that national anthem to stay a part of whatever. You will respect that. That's what I don't understand.
Because they have their own stance.
They have a standard. But now to me, I think we allowed that to some extent because we are the most compromising people and the most compromising religion.
Say it again.
Well, that is the truth. I will admit that. Nowadays it's so easy, and because of that wiggle room, you give way for things like this.
We have decided to give up our right. It goes back into the garden days, and I'm trying not to stay biblical and get back on these points, but we go back to the garden days. Some of the things the enemy can't take from us, we have to give that up. Okay. And we are literally giving up right. And once the enemy gets the authority in our life, we don't have the right to tell him what to do in our life. There's a new game. There's an old game that's coming back out, and now the kids can get it. It was online on Facebook. It's called Ouija, the Ouija board. Y'all know what the Ouija board. They have a kids version of the Ouija board.
Saw that.
And I was so disgusted because all of these people are saying, "Oh, it's just a game." They're not going to open the doors that we allow our children to open up by entertaining things that we have no business or we don't know anything about. Why are we able to? We research the clothes that we wear. Who makes this? But the things that go in our ear gate, our eye gate, our mouth gate, we don't research.
You know what I've seen, and I even found myself doing that. In situations like that, we tend to say, well, they can do it, or we'll allow our children to do it as long as I watch them. We can do this. Even when it came down to I'm serious. If I'm there with them, I'll cover them, or I'll tell them right from wrong. That's the main thing that we do. Long as they know right from wrong. But kids nowadays, yes, we're going to do it the right way with you because but then when they go to somebody else's house with the same set Ouija board, all they know is directions. They don't know that, I'm supposed to pray before this, or I'm supposed to cover myself before we start moving. They're not going to do none of that because mommy did it or my father did it for me, and then we played the game. It wasn't like, before you do this, this is what if you're going to do this, you need to do this. Because parents don't teach in terms of if you're going to do something wrong, then do that. That's not what we do. We tell them don't do it, or if you're going to do it, I'll do it with my children, and I'll pray over them, or I'll cover them, I'll protect them. In this situation, I'm here. But that's all.
But you're opening the door for them. That's
right, and they're going to continue to do it. They're not going to not do it because you're not there to cover them. They're going to still do
literally open the door for
whatever it is. And that boy, let me tell you something. I don't play no games when it comes. My daughter loved the movie,
Jumanji?
The Craft.
Oh, The Craft. I'm sorry.
Jumanji.
I'm sorry.
That was the Ouija board. Oh, it was. But she loved the movie The Craft, and I used to like that movie. But again, I was brought up like you in church with certain things I knew I wasn't supposed to be watching, so it came along with fear. So before I would watch a certain movie like that, I would pray in my head anyway, because I was scared to watch, like, oh, please don't, like, and that's just me. Right. I would always pray to just cover myself before I watch it. I wouldn't say, even if I didn't say it out loud, I would still pray because I was afraid. Kids nowadays don't have that. And I didn't tell her, if you watch this movie, if you're going to watch this movie, at least, pray before you do so, or cover it. Or, you shouldn't be watching this movie, but if you're going to do it, like, don't put that stuff in your head. Don't get too involved in it. I didn't tell her none of that. Next thing you know, that's her favorite movie. Like, she watching it back to back to back. I still don't say nothing. I'm telling you, I know it, and I still don't say nothing. When I said something, when I took her phone and I started seeing her looking up black magic.
Wow.
Because I'll check her phone, because these kids nowadays, you got to go through their history, to see what they're looking at. But I wasn't looking for black magic. I was thinking she was looking at something inappropriate, which this is still inappropriate. Right. But I'm like, why I see all these YouTube things about spells but see, it was penetrating her the whole time. And I absentmindedly, why is it that when it was me, I covered me, but I didn't train her on covering herself?
My goodness. It's a movie that I love, and me and my sister was talking about it over dinner last night. It's called The Chronicles of Narnia. If you look at that movie, a lot of people don't understand that is so biblically based. If you look at that movie, if you get a chance, go just the first one. You go into the second and the third one, it veers off a little bit. But we have things that allow us to be strengthened, and we don't promote it. Why? Because it doesn't have the action that keeps our children's attention. We have the right, when they're young, how to direct their attention, to mold and to make them. But because we allow them to do whatever feels good to them, we're trying to, my grandmother said, you can't bend a tree once it gets big. You got to bend it. You got to start shaping it when it's small so you can direct where it goes. The hard part about it is now when they get out of control, we want to tell them what to do.
Right. Yeah.
It was a wise man, a bishop that I was sitting down talking to him. He said the generation before our generation was the generation, and our generation is the generation that told our kids, we're not going to make you go to church because I was made to go to church. So I'm not going to make you go to church. But my mother generation was made. They made us go to church, so we have a foundation. Our children don't have a foundation.
Right. I think it stops with our generation.
But what happens is, now that they're in trouble, they don't know to go to God. Because we didn't make them learn about God. When we get in trouble, we call on the Lord. Now, they don't know who to call on. So they call on their buddies. They call on their girlfriends. They call on drugs. They call on gangs. They call on they call on the Ouija board. They go to the soothsayer, Sister Ray on Wrightstown Road. They go to these places.
Business? Okay,
because people seek after. The Bible says that men will love themselves more than they love God. Yeah. So they're seeking to protect themselves. They're not running to God. Why? Because we did not make them go to church, so they don't know the God that we serve.
And it's so sad because we don't. Lisa just said, yes, my generation really made a mess. And I agree. We did. But you know what's crazy? We don't realize what we did.
Oh, we realize it. We just can't stop it.
No, right, because the tree's too big. But I'm saying we don't realize it until this point.
But our children are having children. So we can, if we're wise, we can take our
No, I'm saying, go ahead.
If we're wise, we can take our grandkids and we can save our grandkids. And but right now we got our own lives. They got their lives. No, if we're wise, we can protect our seed.
But before we go to commercial break, is this now the point that we are to go into more of a spiritual?
This is the season
to go into. I mean, us. That's right. Okay, we know we messed up. We know we messed up. Right. So is this now the season of the work to be silent and more of a spiritual warfare than it is physical? Because we lost that battle by not bending the tree when it was young.
It goes to this, and I know we got to go. The Bible said, if you repent, He is faithful and just to forgive you. What does that forgiveness mean? Not only to say it's not against you, but He will then start redeeming your generations. See, all we have to do is say, God, I messed this up.
All right. Listen, we're going to come back. We'll finish this when we come back. Stay tuned. We are so not done. We'll be right back.
I thought you was going to have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles, the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio. It is what it is, 9/11.
are they ready to? I know they're not ready to accept it, but yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, how many of them are really ready to think about it like that?
None.
You know, like
I think the problem is like I don't even know how we got here, but it's inbred. You're not born to hate people. You're not born to distinguish between black and white and Asian and Hispanic. That's something that you're taught. You're taught. Point blank, period.
Straight up.
My daughter came home and told me that her white teacher was black. Maybe it's because it's how she treated her. She don't see any color. But when it comes to all her friends, all her friends are mixed. All of her friends have a white parent, black, African, Hispanic, other parent.
So
children don't see color. You breed your children. Not breed. You raise your children to see that.
Yeah, most definitely.
They don't see racism.
Well, I guess
I met a little girl who had a black doll, and she said because the black dolls are prettier than the white dolls. But then I've taken a black doll and a white doll and put it in front of two kids. And it's a study that they've done before. You put it in front of two kids, and you put it in front of a kid, and you ask them which one is the nice one.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back. Before the commercial break, we were talking about the shooting in Parkville, Florida. 17 people dead because at the hand of this 19-year-old shooter. I won't say his name. And we were talking about the attack that is on our youth of today. And there, before we started the show, Bishop has showed me a picture of another young man that had the gun out
AR-15.
on the AR. And let me tell you, all I'm hearing about today is this AR-15 gun. Like, it's been the topic of everywhere. And supposedly, now I saw a post, but I don't believe everything I see on social media, and I wasn't able to research it for myself, that the gun was used in South Carolina, the gun was used at the other school shooting, Sandy Hook. All of these places they're using the same AR-15 gun. Not saying that, if you take all those guns out, then the shooting is going to stop. They'll just find another gun. But it has to be something significant. Is it because this gun is easier to get?
It's not just that. It sprays more rounds than a regular handgun.
I mean, I know why it's the desire, because it's an assault rifle. But I mean, it's strange. I mean, there's more than one gun that shoots as fast or as distance or whatever.
Not as quick as you can get that in the gun stores real quick.
Why? What reason is that okay? Like, why is that okay? If somebody can walk in a gun store and be like, let me get that AR-15 shooting all these rounds. What are you doing?
Because most people don't. Most gun sellers or gun stores want that sale. This is an expensive gun, man. One AR-15 at the lowest can be about $700, $800.
And even more of a reason of why I don't understand why. Well, I don't know if the young man. Well, he was of age. He was 19, so he was able to go in and buy the gun. Was he not? Is it 18 or is it 21 for guns?
21.
It is 21.
Yeah.
So okay, so somebody got the gun for him. I don't know. Point is, it's still too accessible, in my opinion. And this is the next fight. The fight is about they feel like that that people are using this to go for ammunition to trying to the gun laws, so that we lose the rights to bear arms. These things, this keeps happening, so that when the time comes that it's time to vote, and they can say no, guns are illegal, basically.
Well, it is in Maryland though. They're not selling them as fast in Maryland unless you already grandfather under that law. So majority of the people that already have them, they're grandfathered under them. They can still use them, but you're not finding them being sold here. They're going out of state, bringing them back. There's nothing wrong with having them. You just can't buy them here.
I think it's crazy. I think just access. I think it's crazy. I mean, you can get a gun anywhere. You got, well, to my knowledge, let's not get into the whole Baltimore City conversation, which we'll be talking about soon. Police they stocking guns up at their house just so that they can plant them on people. It's everywhere. Like, why do we have so many guns on the street? Period.
That's a different story.
I agree.
That's planned. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's planned. That's a plot, especially in our community, because guess what? We really can't afford those guns.
But at the cost of what? At the cost of all these, it's the
power,
kids.
prestige.
But it's the kids.
But power and prestige supersede a lot of things. When you're not in your right spirit or in a good spirit, people want power and prestige. And I'm back biblical. John the Baptist, and not John the Baptist, John, the sons of Zebedee, John and James, mother came to them and said, go ask Jesus, can I sit on your right hand and can I sit on your left hand? And they went and asked him. Jesus said, that's not even mine to give. We want prestige more than we want placement. He said, you should be lucky that your name is written in the Lamb Book of Life. You should be lucky you're part of this. Everybody want power. And that's the crazy thing about it. When you get this power, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the power?
Well, that goes right along with what Lisa was saying. People don't know. You don't even know what to do in the position that you're given.
Exactly.
Like, that's the point. We're right back at knowing what your job is in this very moment. People don't know how to work the talents given to them, and yet they want everybody else's.
Listen, most weapons come with a spirit all by itself. That's why when a police officer, and let's be honest, I wore the belt myself. When they put on their pistol belt with all of their regalia on it, they feel more empowered, and when they pull it off, they feel a big release because that authority is wrapped around their waist.
And this is the reason why you have these kids who want to go and do the shooting.
Because the power comes with that weapon. You got police officers without their guns. Guess what? They're the normal yos. You can dap them up all day. When they strap on that gun, man, they get this. It's a spirit that gives them authority that really does not exist. It's not even existing behind the badge or what was sworn in for them to do.
Well, they said the young man, he was put out of school, and he supposedly had all these pictures and video and posts and things online with him and the gun. No different from I don't remember these people's names on purpose. The other guy, the most recent guy who did the killing, had all the pictures and stuff that went into the church and killed his mother-in-law, along with the other people, children and babies, down to I think it was a 1-year-old that was killed in that incident. Posting videos and stuff. That's why I said, though I don't particularly agree with most of the things that Trump says, I have to kind of give him credit for that, because you're telling me again. You have these people blatantly telling you what they're going to do, blatantly telling you, posting pictures about guns and videos, but everybody takes it or just scroll past it. It doesn't, nothing stands out to you. The school even said, teachers after the fact said that the guy, they said that the boy is not allowed on the premises. He was put out of school. He wasn't allowed on the premises, and he was specifically, it said he's not allowed on the premises with a backpack. So the fact that you pointed out that you knew that he was capable, they said it. They said he looked like, and I'm trying to figure out what that. We all feel like you could say he looked like he's a little crazy. You heard that before, but that's actually ridiculous because there's no crazy look. We can think it. We can say they look strange or they look like he's possible. You know, he's capable. There's no. You got some of the most sanest people that walk out of here. It's after the fact. Now that you have it in your head, you know that this man just killed 17 people. Then you see him and say, yeah, now he had a look about him. You know, that seems strange, but. They said they found a backpack that had bullets in it prior to that. So he's no longer allowed on the premises with the backpack. But yet, he still got into the school. Here's the kicker. Then they said, well, you know the schools, Baltimore County, I'm getting emails right now stating that for the children who feel uncomfortable, they got all these procedures. And they said, I said, this is what I don't understand. The boy went to the school. So he knows the procedure. What difference does that make? How does that make me feel good?
Lisa, listen to this. Family, listen to this. And don't think I'm spooky. But we know how supernatural things happen. Being cloaked is one of the enemy's most prized possession, to cover you up while he can walk a dangerous person right past every police officer and allow him to do what he needs to do when their eyes are not open. It was my grandmother who showed me that when you have spiritual insight, even the most normal person, God will give you eyes to see every thought that they're having that's out of order. Because our eyes are closed, and you got don't get me wrong, you got saved teachers, but when our eyes are closed, the thing that we should be seeing, we don't see anymore. So how did this man walk past all of this supposedly security? Because he was cloaked.
He was covered. Yeah.
He was covered. Don't get so saved biblically and all this biblical knowledge that you don't believe supernatural anymore. This boy was covered. He walked past teachers, he walked past students, and they had already an APB out on him in the school. If you see this person, people saw him but couldn't see him. Even if they wanted to see him, they couldn't see him. Why? Because he was cloaked.
Also, a pivotal. You gonna have to read my book. You're gonna have to read my book. I'm really
Can
serious.
I get it in audio, please?
Yeah. We're doing it in audio just for you. But yes, I'm serious. But that also is a major part. It's crazy because I didn't even realize the comparison to, as we're having this conversation, the comparison to my story to what's going on right now, and it's so crazy. And it took place in the school. I'm serious. I'm not doing it. But I'm serious. And listen, y'all know. I have had Sunset Soul for almost a year now, and I never really pushed for my sales for anything on this show, and this was the platform for it. But I promise you that with everything going on right now, it is so significant. I'm serious. It is so significant that I think that this is more than ever should this book be read. I'm serious.
I'm gonna read
I think more than ever should it be read. I just bought Fallen. We were talking about this because we were talking about spirits. It's a movie with Denzel Washington called Fallen. Lisa, I just ordered it off of Amazon. It's literally sitting under my TV right now with the rest of my DVDs. Still got the wrapping on it. I just purchased it. And it's a really good movie, but it talks about the transference of spirits. And it's an awesome depiction.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because it went from person to person to person to person.
End up in a cat?
Don't tell us story. You see this?
I'm sorry.
Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all didn't hear that, okay? It's a good movie.
I love teaching this stuff. I teach this stuff all day.
But that's exactly what it is. It's and this young man is going here. Yes, I believe that he is covered. I think that the problem is we're not.
I think that we're blind.
I think, and because of that, we're not accessing our power. Even with it's so crazy because there's a video up of the shooting, and it was a boy. One of the boys at the school had of course a live or recording or something like that. And of course, when they start shooting, you hear him yelling and cursing and things like that. And this is spontaneous. I totally understand. You got fear. You don't know what your body's in fight or flight mode. But I'm a firm believer that what's in you is what comes out. And there was a time that I used to curse too. That's the first thing came to my mind was to yell the S word when you're hurt or in pain or scared or whatever or shocked. That's just what it is. But now, and y'all have seen me even on Sunset Soul, one word you will always see is Jesus. Like I just get it's an immediate response. And I think we don't have, that's what I mean by covering. Not saying that you have to be so super spiritual. I'm just saying you gotta cover you. You gotta cover you and know, and because this is, if we're gonna say this is a spiritual fight, you have to cover you spiritually. And you don't know, you don't know who's walking in that door. You don't know what's walking in the door. And I told you, I went on that job, and that lady, did I tell y'all that? The lady who came to my car, we was talking about that.
I heard about it. I didn't know about it.
It's very, to this, I mean, it's still scary to me to this day because we were talking about spirits, and that was how we got on the show Fallen. But I was walking out of my job, and when I got to my car, right here, John Hopkins, Kennedy Krieger. When I got to my car, the lady walked up to my car, and she was standing closer to me than you are right now. And I thought she was going to ask me for money or a ride or something. But she didn't say anything. She just stood there. She just watched me. She kept fixing her clothes. She had on a badge and everything, like she was on her way to work. Normal. Look, this is normal, regular as ever. So I said, okay, can I help you? She never said anything. So I said, okay, I was tired. I just got off work and I was going to my day job. So I go to get in my car. But when I went to get in my car, she went to walk away. But I thought she was finally getting ready to say whatever she was going to say. So I stopped when I was getting in. I stopped, turned back around. When I stopped, she stopped. Turned back around, facing me again. She just stood there and she just watched me. I was like, okay, I'm leaving. When I sat down in my car and closed my door is when she walked off. And I'm like, what did she want? And that's when we were having a conversation about territorial spirits, and and you were in her territory. I said, listen, it was too early in the morning. I just got off work, but I felt nervous and uncomfortable because I felt like if this is what it was, I wasn't covered. I was covered.
That's why.
But I wasn't prepared. Because I had no idea what I was facing.
Look at this. Look at this. And I really want us to understand that I'm gonna hurry up and get off the subject. Drugs does nothing but when we put people on drugs for different things, it suppresses the body. It allows the gates to open up, but it suppresses the body. If the spirit is already in there, that movie Get Out, like that little the guy, he went into a sunken place. He can't do anything now because now his body is under suppression by the drugs, and the spirit now has full control. He can't do anything but cry out inside of himself because he has no control. The drugs got control of the body. The spirit got control of everything else. What are you to do then? And that's what a lot of people, when we see these guys on the street high, their body is under subjection to the drug, but their mind is under subjection to the spirit.
Okay.
And when these kids go in there and shooting up the places, when they come off of the high, they realize, what did I just do? Because they allow their body to be arrested.
Using what, and I'm really not trying to be funny, but using what you're saying, where does the going into the store to get something to eat come from now? You said you was equating that to not being aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, no, mentally, a lot of times you come back to yourself, you don't realize what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying he didn't know, because even in A Sunken Place, the movie, even in A Sunken Place, he got an idea of what's going on. Reality is slowly coming back to him. I just killed up a bunch of people. Let me figure a way to hide. That could have been a hiding mechanism, but he's no longer under full subjection to the spirit that caused mass murder.
Okay.
Because you're going to come out, the reality is going to come back eventually.
Okay.
The enemy ain't going to just sit there and he's going to look for another place to go now, because now you're about to be detained. He don't have that host anymore.
So he leaves your body.
Listen, now you got to deal with the reality. I did all of this stuff, and hopefully they don't do what I just did to them.
So. Well, but they caught him, and it goes, you're going right back to the whole racial thing as far as how they caught him, and all that. But they caught him nonetheless. Sadly, lives were lost. 17 people were killed. But the one guy, a couple guys I don't want to name, Aaron Fez, F-E-I-S. I don't know exactly how you pronounce his last name. He was the assistant coach. And he dived in front of a couple of the children that was being shot at, and he at that time was in critical condition. They did say that he had succumbed to his injuries, so he passed.
Are you kidding?
He passed. There was also Chris Hickson. He was the athletic director. He was killed. And Scott Beagle, he was a teacher. He was trying to lock the door. So once he got the children into the classroom, he was trying to lock the door and wind up.
No greater love than this than a man lay down his life.
And these are, I'm serious. These are teachers to the end protecting your children. Whether they put thought in it, if it was just following the directions or whatever the guidelines were in a case of an emergency. However it goes, they lost their lives. Trying to, because I'm quite sure locking the door is trying to, not just himself, but covering all these children. It's ridiculous, and I don't understand. I went back and I read. I'm trying to find out what reason. What is he gonna say? Like, what reason did he decide today was the day he was gonna go in here and risk it all? Before we go to commercial break, LeVar Jr. said once the act was complete, you tried to make life normal. Okay, so that's why they went to get a sandwich for yourself again by doing something you think is normal, like going to McDonald's. I think that's crazy. And if that's going to be your last meal, it will not be McDonald's. I'm just going to say.
Good point there, son. But that is a
absolutely. Good point. But you know what? You know what's sad? At the end of the day, if that be the case, if this is a spirit, it makes you feel even then also still bad for the individual. Because then, where's the control? Did they have control over themselves in that situation?
You don't get...
Oh, I'm sorry. 30 seconds. I forgot. I'm sorry. I did say 30 seconds. When we come back, this is our last break. Y'all stay with us. Do you feel like if these people who are going out and doing these crimes, committing crimes, they're under attack, they're under a spirit, it's not that they're not thinking clearly, is it fair then to blame them? Did they have control over the situation? Could they have helped the situation before it happened? That's a question on the floor. Stay tuned.
Good question.
Stay tuned.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
Check out this
snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be. You're live on the air. I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I know
I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
I thought you was going to have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio. It is what it is. 9/11.
Yo,
listen,
our principal used to put. We talk in the cafeteria. He would put us on that wall. And he going down the line.
That, right? I was at Lamel Middle School. I had a principal by the name Mr. Moore. He used to point at me in my forehead and smack the shit out of it. Anytime I did something wrong.
Yeah.
But it was discipline.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. We don't got that now.
Listen, bro.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We are back before the commercial break. The question on the floor. We got an answer from LeVar Jr. He is with it. Thank you so much, Junior, for. Can I just call you Junior? LeVar Jr. for staying tuned and giving us some of your input. The question on the floor was, being as though we believe that these youth and people who are committing these heinous crimes are under some sort of attack or spiritual attack, can we really hold them accountable? Can we really blame them for what they're doing after they come back to reality and realize what they had done? And one of the comments was from LeVar Jr. Yes, you blame them. In the Garden of Eden, God punished the serpent because he allowed himself to be used by the enemy. Same situation.
There is a blame.
Good
you
point.
have to take responsibility for it's your body. It's your mind. It's your thought process.
So you're taking responsibility for the action? Or you're taking responsibility for being weak?
No, you're not. You're taking responsibilities for the action.
Okay.
You have to take responsibility for the action. It's your body. You're not an infant.
But you just said you're not under control.
You made a conscious decision to yield yourself to that.
So then you're being responsible for being weak, not for the action.
Well, if you want to call it, in order for you to respond to it or shoot up a place, you have to yield yourself to it. Whether you're weak or strong, it doesn't matter. You have the strongest men in the world doing the dumbest things in the world, yielding themselves over to other spirits.
Okay.
You can't say their mindset is not strong. You have real strong, mentally educated, physically strong, and they still yield their body over to do crazy stuff, blow themselves up, bomb the towers, all kinds of stuff. So you can't say they're weak. They just allow themselves to be used. You get what you get when you do what you do.
Okay, so how do we avoid that? Does this go back to what we were saying earlier when Lisa was talking about, you and Lisa was talking about knowing your position?
Yes.
How do you stay covered in these situations?
There are still prophets in the land. There are still spiritual people who you having dreams. Stop saying something told me. I tell my church, God's. If you want to use God's hood name, if God had a hood name, it would be something told me. Because every time you get in trouble, you say something told me. So you knew it was going to happen. You had the inkling. But we are so busy dealing with us and so busy in love with us, we separate ourselves from the conscious mind that God uses, our spiritual mind, to talk to us.
Dex Jr. said, I believe things always lead up to different things. Even if they were overtaken by a spirit, the thought was in their head at some point way before the act was committed. The shooting was planned out down to...
I agree with you, cousin.
Down that he knew what day they were doing a fire drill. He knew people would think it was just a drill.
It's a second.
I most certainly blame them. And like LeVar Jr. said, they are allowing themselves to be used. God gave all of us free will.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Cousin Dex, because the true reality of the whole point is that these spirits didn't just happen to come into this person that day. Mm-hmm. These are processes. It's just like anytime someone want to take over a territory, they have to fight to take that over, especially when it's not there. Like
what you just said with me and the woman at the
exactly.
Because here's the thing: when I say are they responsible for being weak? I'm not saying weak in the terms of weak the way we see it. I'm saying weak to the point that as though you are vulnerable enough to be overtaken, because we are not covered. That's the only way you can be overtaken if you're not. Okay,
since we're on this level, all of us are vulnerable if we don't yield ourselves to the Holy Spirit.
I agree. Well, that's what I'm saying, because that's the only thing that covers us in these situations.
You're weak until you have the Holy Spirit there. You are subjected to anything. That's why I keep telling people it's not a black or white person. It's not a Hispanic community. This is a spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. And if you are not covered, I'm not.
Then you fall subject to the possibility.
You're apt to do anything. My grandmother used to say, "Baby, if you ain't covered under the blood, if you ain't got the Spirit of the Holy Ghost, you have to do just whatever He want. You can't yield yourself."
So do you feel like anything that takes place after you don't cover yourself and you put yourself in that position? But listen, my question to you is: do you say that now that you're responsible? You feel like that they're still to blame after they have put themselves in a position, not covering themselves, to allow this to take place? They're still to blame, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then why aren't men responsible to take care of their child after they neutered the woman before they sleep with the woman? Is that not the same thing you just said?
I agree.
If they put themselves in a position to sleep with this woman, and they should be able to take care of their child because they walked into that uncovered. Is that not the same thing?
I agree with you 100%. That's why I said that it was an open conversation to have. And we had an open conversation. Lisa, I still need you to be on my side, Lisa. That's why I said in the very beginning that these statements that I'm making is not because I agree with them. There was just a point that me and a brother was having a conversation. But when it comes to covering your children, I honestly believe we need to start teaching them spiritual matters.
Okay,
I agree. Here's another thing, and I'm going to jump off the subject way left, but I need y'all to ride with me on this. We are teaching people in church how to speak in tongues and how to dance when they can't even speak natural English.
We're not teaching, and that's a whole. I really want to have a show about that. We don't even know who God is.
They don't know who God is.
Emotional attachment.
We're teaching them Hebrew and we're teaching them Greek, but they can't pass the spelling test.
I always say that you don't marry a man just because you had to dance with him on the dance floor. You're not gonna marry him just because you had a good dance. That's just called you having a good time.
Let's get back to what it's all about. It's a supernatural walk. It's a spiritual walk. Let's teach it. You do not wrestle against flesh and blood. So what does that really mean? We quote that scripture every day. But then Bishop Harris is too spooky deep. The devil is a lie. I'm not spooky deep. I just need you to get in the spirit and realize that this is a true battle.
We're going to read Lawrence's comment because we get ready to leave. Our children go to school our children go to schools that because of the budget restraints don't have the proper number of counselors. Some middle schools have no counselors. Our kids are set up to act out. They are sent to schools that are freezing in the winter. They are disrespected by teachers more sometimes than their peers. The schools are where anger is being taught. More oversight is needed. Our kids are shackled by thousands in jails. We need to overhaul the schools. The enemy is at central. Okay, the enemy is at central from the principal down. The schools are now developing mass incarceration and killers, and that is a fact.
Can I address that?
We got 30 seconds. We got to go right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Another second. Lawrence, I somewhat agree with you on that, but I do agree it started at home. It didn't start at the school. It started at home.
But that's what they said. He just said it. One thing connects to the other. It's not just the school. They had to be in a place.
I need you to be a priest at home.
To that.
Be a priest at home. You yourself. And I'm not saying you, Lawrence, I'm just opening it up. You yourself need to be the first priest. Learn to see God so that when you look at your child, you look at your son, you can say, hold on, son, I need to keep you out of school today.
Right. Because the schools is basically what we just said, the school is the same equivalent to the Ouija board.
Exactly.
If you don't teach them ahead of time, then they're still uncomfortable. You still have came in vulnerable and susceptible to whatever that they are attempting to try to do to your child.
9/11, some people didn't go to work because something told them not to go to work. God is good.
Listen, y'all, thank y'all so much. Y'all know how Sunset Soul is. I thank y'all so very much for tuning in every week. We have the best, and I mean the most awesome viewers. I so appreciate it. I thank y'all. We will see you next week. Rachel, I see you tuning in. I know, but you can still watch the show, Rachel. We'll be back this same time next week. Thank y'all very much. Bye-bye.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the